Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Rune. So today we're going to look at the top 10 pool cards in all of the Magic world. And now, at number 10, we're going to start off with Spawning Pool, which is various sets. It's an uncommon going with an average price of 24 cents on the market at the time of this video. And this has to be one of my personal favorite land cards from the Urza series. It comes into play tap, add 1 black to your mana, or becomes a 1/1 black creature with it regenerate this creature until end of turn. Nowadays, it doesn't mean anything, but back then, I thought this was pretty popular and cool. So let's move on to number 9. We have Tangle Pool Bridge from Modern Horizons 2. It's a common going average price of 16 cents on the market. Well, it's indestructible and it's an artifact land. That's why I made this list. It's very, very impressive, but that's about it. So let's move on to number 8. We have Knowledge Pool. It's from various sets, and that's right, it's a rare. First one on this list. It is 56 cents at the time of this video. And while it is very expensive, it does cost 6, but it says when it enters the battlefield, each player exiles the top 3 cards of his or her library. Whenever a player casts a spell from his or her hand, that player exiles it. If that player does, he or she may cast another non-land card exiled with the pool. So this card does have a lot of abilities you have to play with this card to make it pretty good, but overall it's not that good. Like, you just have to make it work. That's about it. So let's move on to number 7. We got another land. This is calciform pools from Time Spiral or Time Spiral Remastered. It's an uncommon, just going for 23 cents on the market. And I like this one because it's quite versatile and it can be used for an end game if you want, because it says pay 1 to put a storage counter on or add a colorless. Now remove X storage counters and add X mana in any combination of planes or islands. So that's what I'm saying, end game. You could have 10 storage counters on it and something that costs X or whatever. This kind of pulls that card out right away without having this land if it's not destroyed. But let's move on to number 6. We have Cradle of Vitalities from various sets. It's a rare going for an average price of 38 cents on the market. And well, it doesn't say pool in the name, but it does say rainwater pools where the elves gather in the subtext, and you can see in the picture. And it says whenever you gain life, you may pay 2. If you do, put a +1/+1 on target creature for each 1 life you gain. And it costs 4 mana to bring out this enchantment, so you can really have good fun with this as there are many life gaining cards in white. So let's move on to number 5. Well, we got Faded Pools from Amonkhet. It's a rare going for just $4 on the market. And this one is, even though it entered battlefield tap, it has cycling, which I think is a really cool ability. And it is considered an island swamp. So we do have that. And I really do like that. And that's the reason why it's at number 5. So let's move on to number 4. We got Faded Pools from Amonkhet. It's a rare going for an average price of $3.74 on the market. This one, well, I like it. It's at number 4 because it is an island swamp. So it does have that 2 lands, which can have abilities on cards in your deck if you say so. And it does have cycling too, which I think is another bonus because if you don't want it, well, you can quite simply cycle it. So let's move on to number 3. We got Mirror Pool from Oath of the Gatewatch. It's a mythic going just for $1.84, and it has quite a bit of writing on it. It does enter the battlefield tap, so you can add either a color to your mana pool, pay 2, copy target insert or spell you control. You may choose new targets for that copy, and it costs only 3, so you could definitely have some fun with that if you have a specific spell you want to play. Or you can pay 4 and a color, sacrifice it, put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of target creature you control. Again, on top of everything else, you can have really fun with that, and if you have a very powerful creature, this would be cheaper to do a token of that card. So this is why it's at number 3. So let's move on to number 2, which we have is Morphic Pool from various sets. It's a rare going for, well, $7.54 on the market. It says it comes into the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more opponents. Add an island or swamp. Well, there's not much more to explain about that. Pretty fancy, pretty versatile, and you can really have that as an ability. Really cool. Well, we got the next best card in all the lands and all the magic. If it's not a dual land from like Revised or Alpha or Beta, we got cards like Breeding Pool. It's from various sets. It's a rare, minus the Zendikar expectations. It's $22.92 on the average price on the market. Well, it enters the battlefield and you may pay 2 life. If you don't enter a battlefield, tap. So if you play this first turn, paying 2 life to bring out something, that's really a very cheap price to pay for it. And on top of that, just kind of like feeded pools, it is a forest island, so it has 2 lands into this one card, and there are various combos with that. So this is basically the best card you're possibly get other than those typical lands from the beginning of Magic. This is an amazing card, and I hope you guys enjoy the top 10 and have a good day and a good evening.